So the plant, to protect itself against the strong sunlight, exudes a resin, and that resin is hash. So it's not, I mean, although you can obviously get hash out of these, the yield wouldn't be anything like you'd get if you planted the same stuff on top of the Himalayas. You've cut it in the field, brought it here. Okay, this is what it gets. Then these bits are taken off and hung to dry up there. And once they dried, they cut down and you end up with this, which is basically what gets sold. Okay? Notice few seeds, okay? Hardly any seeds. There are some, but very, very few. I mean, it's just like all good skunk or anything. The better it is, the harder it is to smoke in its pure form. So it does need something else with it. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people think tobacco is very bad for you, and depending which tobacco you use. I mean, I notice out here they mix up what looks like a cigar tobacco with it. So, you know, even in Jamaica, they mix tobacco with it to make it for a better smoke. I don't just like to point out, really, that the guys who do this work here obviously do not want to be filmed, because if they were caught doing this work, which they do very gentlemanly and peacefully, they would be put in prison. They don't often get the thanks, and they're not very often rewarded enough for what they do. Okay? I'd like to get that one down on record. Us guys in the middle do all right, you know. These guys don't.
I've been performing for a while now, touring my one-man show across the country. I'm a stand-up comic. I can't stand up.
Memories fall, make no sense at all. There's no one I recall, they just faces.
The book readings were evolving or devolving into a kind of question and answer thing.
Yeah, Howard.
Yeah.
I have a question, simple question.
Go ahead.
The first joint that you smoke of the day, no matter what time it is,
Aye.
does it hit you more than whatever happens after that? The first joint.
The first joint is the best to me always. Yes, I get stoned very, very quickly. What I hate about being asleep is I wake up straight. Until I performed for a month with the Edinburgh Festival, my main connection with Scotland had been landing 15 tons of Colombian weed on a remote stretch of coast.
Start to sink in when the changes begin, caused by substances in my traces.
We unloaded all the dope in Scotland. It was all put into a large truck. And it was about 6 in the morning, and 3 of us were just walking down this very, very small country, deserted country lane. I was covered with walkie-talkies, kind of mobile phones, which were clumsier affairs then, a night scope, I mean, like, really covered with equipment. And so were my 2 friends, and we walked around the corner, and then a police car came. And this is the first police car we'd seen there for a month. My 2 friends ran into the bushes. I went up to the car, and he rolled down, and he said, "I've run out of petrol." So he said, and what are you doing here? I said, "Oh, I'm working on a film shoot and just waiting for the light, and I'm just measuring the light and checking everything down here because we'll be filming here later on." And there was, like, I mean, that was the front of what we were doing. So I told him, I said, "Well, look, I think we've got a can of petrol there, and we could give you some."
And we turned up at the house where there were 15 New Yorkers who had just unloaded the dope, sitting around, and various other personnel, seeing me coming up. Obviously, I had a rant to say, no, it's all right, he just wants petrol. Oh, yeah, petrol, sure. Eventually, got him a can of petrol. And then I also asked him to give a lift to one of the guys who was in the house, because he'd left his car a few miles away because he was too drunk. So the cop actually helped us get our act together there. Mr. Big Bass.
Yeah.